Here at St Cecilia Sports and Social Club, which is a commercial to residential conversion, Utility Source were engaged at a very early stage. The developer asked us to visit site and have a look at the existing utilities. He'd only just bought the site, so he really wanted to know what the extent of the utility works were, how long it'd take, and more importantly, how much it would cost. For us, we had the opportunity to go inside the building. We had an opportunity to look at the existing electric supply to determine that that weren't sufficient to feed 8 flats and a landlord supply, and also to look at the size of the water supply in there, which was just a 25mm supply. A 25mm supply will not feed 8 flats. So given that we collated that information and explained that to the developer at that early stage, we were able to set some expectations for him that it wasn't going to be straightforward. He was going to have to disconnect the existing utility infrastructure and install something that was more suited to the development. We then went away and we spent time speaking with Yorkshire Water and Northern Powergrid to determine the extent of the works required and, more importantly, to determine what the cost will be. After that exercise, we've set some expectations with the client. He understands how long things are going to take and he understands what the cost is. But we didn't stop there. The next step was to register the site with BT Openreach, which enabled us to present a cost for connecting broadband to the client and to provide him with a contract that he needed to sign to set the wheels in motion with BT Openreach. At the planning stage, we've encountered some technical difficulties, and the technical difficulties are going to cost the developer some time. Now, this development is surrounded by a road that is circular. It goes all the way around the development. And when you put barriers into the road where the water mains are going to be, you can't maintain a safe distance for vehicles to pass. So in this case, the council have requested that we do the works under a road closure. When a road closure is required, the council have up to 12 weeks to approve it. And in that 12 weeks, they'll write to the tenants, they'll write to local businesses, they'll write to the emergency services and any sort of public services like buses, and they will notify them that this road is going to be closed for a period of time. At this point, the water connection is planned in under that road closure. I just need to remind investors and developers that when new plots are created, a water infrastructure charge is applied to each plot. That water infrastructure charge is put into a pot, in this case under the guise of Yorkshire Water, and that money is utilised for the maintenance and repair of existing drainage and existing water mains and services. In Yorkshire Water's area, prior to April 1st, 2025, they were adding around £250 per plot to a developer's quote for infrastructure charges. But from the 1st of April, that has increased dramatically. They're currently charging around £1,200 per plot. That fee, whilst we don't agree with it, is approved by Yorkshire Water and Ofwat. For a site like this, which has 8 new apartments, that would have potentially added around £8,000 to the cost for the developer on this site. Please be aware that infrastructure charges are non-negotiable. There's absolutely nothing that we can do to influence those being applied to your quotation, but please factor those fees in when you're doing your budget costs at the start of the project.